All right, man. How long you been out here in LA? Come on now.
I have been here. Well, first I got drafted in 1983. I bought my first place here in Orange County in 1984. I kept that place in 1986, and I bought in Calabasas in 1986, November of 1986. So I've been here almost 40 years.
Dang, you ain't check up at Texas?
I'm a Texan. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a Texan. I still have a house in Texas, in my hometown of Sealy. But I do call this home.
See, I miss home. I miss home. All my family is there, and I left. So I left Chicago 2004. But I miss home.
Well, see, I mean, I miss home, but a lot of my family have passed away. I mean, man, I think I'm 62 years old now, so my mom is gone, my dad is gone. I got cousins and aunts back there, a few aunts that's left, but mostly cousins. But you know, that's really it. And I don't get a chance to go back that much. I take my kids back, but like I said, I'm a Texan. I mean, I do love Texas, but I'm in California.
You were obviously, look, you played, and it's always interesting when I have conversations with former players, because I have to remind people that you look at most careers, because you retired at what age?
33.
And so you're talking, you've been out. You've been
long
out.
as I played.
Well, not as long as you played, from early through the pros.
Yeah.
And there's a whole life that still has to be lived. And it's always interesting to me how many players are unprepared for that reality.
You know, Ron, that's a great question, because I think I was too, in a lot of ways. Because, you know, you play football for so long, it's a regiment. And it kind of can happen abruptly, or it can be a periodic thing. It takes a while, because you kind of get prepared for it. For me, you know, it happened kind of quickly. I had a neck injury, and I had to retire. Was I ready? Yes and no, because I can say, and I hate to say it like this, but man, I loved football. I loved everything about it. The practice, you know, the games, but I hated the BS, the politics. You know, and the sad thing is you'll hear a lot of players say this, especially black players, and white also, people don't get this, is that they make you hate a game that you loved so much. And I mean that. I love football, but the politics and the BS that goes along with it, with the stuff that you see, how they treat players, and I say mostly black players, because the NFL is mostly black, how they treat us, it's disheartening. And it makes you dislike not the game itself, but you know, you look at people who work for teams and work in the league, and they act like they're such big shots. And I'm like, bitch, you don't even know how to put a uniform on. If I took a uniform apart and put it on the ground and said, put this together and put it on, you don't even know how. You don't know what it's like to play in the cold. You don't know what it's like to play hurt. You don't know what it's like to can't sleep at night. You don't know what it's like to have a bad game and you take it home with you. But you want to act like you're such a big shot because you work for the National Football League. You know, I think that bugs a lot of us, and I can say black and white. And the thing is that when we speak out, black people, I just did an interview yesterday talking about this. It's amazing how we're always angry. We're the angry black guy. You don't ever hear the angry white guy, the angry Jewish guy. It's always angry. We talk about slavery, we're angry. We should be angry. I mean, I talk about the Jewish people talking about the Holocaust. They should be angry. But when they're angry, it's okay. But it's not okay for us to be angry. And that, I think I have a real problem with that, you know, because there's a lot of things to me when I think about football that, like I said, I loved it. And I love everything about it, but it's things about the game that you really despise and hate.
But see, it comes down to the framing though. So we talk about they see us as angry. Well, that's based upon who's writing the story.
That's right.
And so the reality is the press box looks like the owner's box. There are very few African Americans who are in the press box. And so and I've seen this for numerous years. I remember I was, Dallas Mavericks had a media day, and we're sitting at the table, and a sports writer, he called Allen Iverson a thug because of his cornrows. And I said, so how's he a thug? I said, Cherokee Park's got a mullet. I said, so how's Iverson a thug? And I go, do you know Iverson? Do you know anything about it? I said, so I started jamming. I said, here's what happened. I said, you get with the other white sports writers, and y'all craft a narrative about a particular player, and then now all y'all start writing about it. Most of the sports talk show hosts are white, so y'all start voicing that. So now all of a sudden, you're now controlling the narrative. When I look at it, this is how you can always tell. When I look at NFL films, when you're looking at all of these different shows that they do, and when they're interviewing all these different media people, it's only recently you start seeing a number of African Americans.
Right.
You'll watch it, and nearly every person, not non-black. That's how that gets framed.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I've said the same thing. I've seen it over the years because you watch things, you're like, wow, ain't no brothers in that, you know. Wow, ain't no brothers in that commercial. But they use our music, you know, they use our clothing, but, you know, like you said, they look at us as thugs and gangsters, and like I said, we're angry.
When talking about, again, what you were describing, I see that as the business of the business. And I think what often happens is, whether we're talking about sports, whether we're talking about music, whether we're talking about journalism or whatever, many of us, we're focused on the art, we're focused on the content, but I realize that there's a business behind this.
Yeah.
And we don't spend the time on the business part. And then when it shows itself, then folks go, oh my God. And I'm always trying to say, if you don't focus on that business part, you're not gonna get what the real thing is. And that's what it is.
Well, you gotta understand, you know, we've been behind from the beginning. I mean, it starts from the beginning. And it's kind of hard to catch up when a person has let's say I've got a 10-mile lead on you. I'm driving a sports car and you're running. I mean, I can never catch up.
But I think but it's where the information comes in. I think about, I've interviewed many artists. I think about when Prince has really tried to educate many folks. Ray Charles owning your masters, Sam Cooke owning your publishing. And those are not the people they love wanting to talk because you're recognizing game. When I think about, I remember when Darrelle Revis, so many teams were pissed off him, how he negotiated his contracts. He figured out, no, I'm not about to sign this 5-7 year deal or whatever the heck. And so it was killing him when he had to keep giving him, you know, those big paychecks because he figured the system out. He gamed it. And that's where, so I think what's necessary when we start talking about next generation, really not just teaching them the craft of the sport or of the industry, but really saying, no, let me teach you the business part. So when it comes up, that's why I think what all these cats in college right now mad as hell with the NIL deals.
The NIL deals, that's a whole nother topic, and I like it because I just did an interview about that yesterday and asked me what I thought about it, because, you know, think about my era, we didn't have that, you know, and they vilified.
Y'all had money.
Man, please, man, A&M had the money over there, and y'all know it. I said, your school offered me the most money that I'd ever, I never saw it, but my mother saw it, but I didn't go to your school. But you know, they were offering it back then.
Right.
And the thing is, I've always thought that players should get compensated for playing in college football. Because I said, okay, the coach is getting paid, the head of the NCAA, he getting paid, but who's doing the work?
Head of the NCAA, he left, Emmett left, was making, before he left, he was making $1.8 million.
I thought he was making $2 million, but it's
way more than when he was a college president.
Okay, boom. I thought it was $2 million, but you're right.
They may have given a raise, right. But.
Because I looked it up, because the thing is that I think about these kids out here, they're playing football. And I always said, look, you can take a jersey, you can take number 19, my college jersey, you can take Craig James, you can take all those jerseys. But if you don't put a body in them, it means nothing. They can't run around. You have to have a body in those jerseys. So why can't the players make, I mean, say money off of what they do? They're doing the work. And I've always been frustrated with that. And people say, well, you know, you want to keep the purity of the game. I said, if the purity of the game, I said, well, let no one get paid.
Right,
let your coaches not get paid. Let people shooting the scenes of television, nobody gets paid. Keep
but that was always dumb to me when The school can go sell
Your jersey?
the jersey that you signed or you didn't sign, but you can't get paid off of signing your own jersey.
I know.
That was just when Terrell Pryor got suspended. I mean, that was like the dumbest, like, oh, so if I sign jerseys for the school,
I can do that.
y'all can go auction them off and the alumni gonna pay crazy money, but I can't actually sign a jersey somebody gives me $100. That was always dumb to me.
But it's been like that forever. And I think that when you look at the bylaws, I think the guy, I read this years ago, guy who wrote the bylaws in NCAA, he said
Yes, he did.
it was like a form of slavery.
Yes, he did.
And not the beating over the back slavery.
Yes, he did.
It's not like that, but it is a form of, like,
Walter Byers.
Right, that's him.
Walter Byers.
Think about it. You've got the players. You've got, let's use slaves. You've got the people that's doing the work. They're doing all the work. I'm feeding them and housing. Okay, that's pretty much the same thing in NCAA. I'm housing, I'm feeding you, and all right, I'm giving you a scholarship. But you think about it, really, man. Most of those kids don't go to school to graduate. They go to school you're there to play a sport.
Well, first of all, it wasn't a scholarship. It was a grant.
It was a grant,
that
right.
could get snatched. And I saw it. I remember there was a brother, he was a defensive lineman, and he was an architecture major, smart. And played ball, and they came to him and they wanted him. I worked for the athletic department for 2 years. That's when Jackie Sherrill was head coach. And they
Y'all
wanted
wasn't doing
him.
nothing over that, were y'all?
Huh?
Y'all wasn't doing nothing illegal.
Of course not, nothing. Absolutely not.
I know, of course not. They wouldn't do that.
We were as pristine as my outfit. So they came to his brother, and they were like, no, you need to commit more time, whatever. And he was like, no. He was taking like 15, 18 hours full load. He's like, I'm here for his architecture degree. And it drove them crazy because he was unwilling to sacrifice what for his degree in architecture, for them wanting him to commit more time to football.
Yeah, I mean, they could do that. I mean, you know, sports and college football, let's just use college football, because universities really are ran by college football. That's where the money comes in. I mean,
not even close.
And it's always amazing to me when people say, "Well, what about the girls' sports?" Look, I'm all for girls' sports. I think, and I think that you should have girls, but I think it's
but football funds it.
Yeah, but thank you. Football funds that. You know, like, well, the athletes get this. I'm like, but football pays. But see, they don't realize that football pays for all that. You know, Alabama, USC,
TV contract,
Georgia. Yeah, you think basketball pays for that?
No.
Football pays for that.
When you talk about blackness and what happens in black culture, we're about covering these things that matter to us, speaking to our issues and concerns.
This is a genuine people-powered movement.
There's a lot of stuff that we're not getting. You get it, and you spread the word.
We wish to plead our own cause. Too long have others spoken for us. We cannot tell our own story if we can't pay for it. This is about covering us. Invest in black-owned media. Your dollars matter. We don't have to keep asking them to cover our stuff. So please support us in what we do, folks. We want to hit 2,000 people, $50 this month, raise $100,000. We're behind $100,000, so we want to hit that. Y'all money makes this possible. Check some money orders. Go to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. The Cash App is $RM Unfiltered. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle is Roland at RolandSMartin.com. There are very few schools, women's basketball at Tennessee, basketball at Kentucky, but even those places, I remember, look, when the Big East was the most dominant basketball conference. Why did the Big East conference break up? Because of football. Yep. That's what did it. Connecticut. Anybody watching Connecticut football?
I know they had a football team.
Anybody watching Connecticut football?
Yeah, they had a football team.
But because they were in the conference, it was a TV contract. And that's why the Big East broke up, because it was the football money. That's what drives it. NFL is the biggest league professionally. College football is what's dominant, and it's all because of TV money.
Well, it's always got to television money. I mean, think about the NFL and the contracts they get, for the new contracts. I mean, they're billions of dollars. But the players, I mean, what do we get out of that? I mean, I'm not going to say that I'm against the NFL. I think the NFL is great. I think they've done a lot of good things, but they've done a lot of things that are not so good. I mean, because like you say, it's business. But you know what? I always feel like this. If you just make it fair, I mean, I'm just about fairness. Just make it fair. Don't make it so one-sided. I mean, when you think about the NFL, I think about look at our pensions. We have no health care. Like, I paid my health care when I finished playing. I paid my health care ever since I stopped playing. I mean, think about guys who can pay for their health care. Like right now, you play in the National Football League, you've got health care for 5 years after you retire. Now, you retired 30, 35, you ain't really have no problem when you're 35.
Right.
What happened when you're 55, 65, 75? That's where the problems come in. I just feel like that it's a lot of things that could change because they got the money. It's not like they don't have the money. It's just, a guy said this to me about 8 months ago. I was doing an interview about my book. He said, let me ask you a question. He said, you probably know I'm white. He's white. He said, I said, I can tell you white. He said, the NFL is what, 80% black? I say, yeah, 70, 80% black. He said, I'm going to say this. He said, if the NFL was 80% white, y'all would have a good health care and y'all would have proper pension. I said, well, I know that. He said, I know it too. He said, everybody else knows it. That's the thing I think that really burns a lot of us up because we know. When I look at when they talk the disability, you saw the guys that sue for disability. You've got 29 players that apply for disability black. All 29 are denied. I mean, then all of a sudden they go get these doctors that they have that they're doctors. But if you pass a guy, now we can't use you. We got to freak out. We can't use you. I mean, it's so much that is, like I say, it's just not fair.
Well, you look at baseball. The reality is, the reason baseball has the best deals because one, you had Marvin Miller leading that union. Those players also stuck together.
I know, stuck together.
Stuck together. But the second piece that people can't ignore is that when you had baseball players who were being paid in the amateur ranks, Class A, AA, AAA, you don't have that in football. So really what you're dealing with, so when those players held out, when they broke the backs of the league, that's what changed it, and all of that stuff economically changed. What the NFL did, because of, yes, you're absolutely right, how the system is set up, they front-loaded this thing where they get their TV money at the beginning of the year. So the only way, literally the only way this system changes is if the players truly commit, and it's hard when you have the shortest careers. You're telling somebody average career 3.5 years.
Right. We're
gonna sit out a year. That's a year for cats, and they're like, I can't make that money back. You're not talking about guaranteed deals, and they know economically where those players are coming from.
Most definitely, yeah. I mean, you said it right. Baseball. I looked at the baseball, I looked at basketball. All their for health care, their for his pension is really good.
Multiple $300 million contracts.
I know, multiple. I mean, football is not like that. I mean, we have. Look, and I always say this here. Goodell is making what, $62 million. I'm like, hey, if he makes $62 million, that's cool. But what about the players?
Well, that's why they mad as hell with the Deshaun Watson deal, guaranteed $230 million, and that's really why Baltimore is pissed. Don't want to pay Lamar Jackson.
Well, and
Lamar's like, hey, look, hold up, the way the game works, he getting guaranteed $230. I need to get paid. And that's why when he was injured, I was with him. I ain't playing.
I get it 100%. I mean, look, because you only have. Every football player's shelf life. You have so many plays, you have so many hits, you have so many runs, you have so many throws in you, and it's over. You'll be this guy,
I remember when they hated you. They were like, arrogant, Eric Dickerson. But you understood the money game.
I was the malcontent. I didn't know what the hell malcontent was. I never heard it. Just all kind of names they called me. Because look, I still have my NFL contract in my house, having a case. It's 4 of them, my 4-year contract. I got a $600,000 signing bonus. my base salary for that first year was $150,000. Matter of fact,
$150,000.
$150,000. That's what I made, $150,000. Now think about it. My signing bonus was a forgivable loan, supposedly. When I got traded to the Colts, they made me pay back my signing bonus to them. I had to give them their $600,000 back.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was so pissed because, I try to be a man of my word. I'm like, fuck you, I'll give you your money back. Even though I know I earned that money,
right.
I gave them their money back. I gave them their $600,000 back. But yet, I was this malcontent. I was a bad guy. I'm about the money. It wasn't about the money. It was about doing right. Because I looked at, because you look at contract. Look at John Elway. John Elway was making $1 million, $800,000. I was making $150,000. I was doing everything. And I'm like, but yet I got so many letters, you nigga this, you all you coons, I just play for free and all that kind of stuff. You don't forget that kind of stuff.
Right.
That stuff is hurtful. And the thing is that, like I say, for me, it was a thing. I think it bothered me, but it really bothered mostly my mother. That's what really bothered me. Mm-hmm. Because my mother said, Eric, I know what kind of person you are. I know how we raised you. And all the stuff I see them write about you is just so wrong. That's why I never liked reporters. I never liked them guys because the stuff they would write was just so wrong.
And again, you weren't talking to maybe who looked like me.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're right. I wouldn't talk to people who look like you. And so from that point on, I just was not into reporters. But like I say, and I look back at, I'm not angry about it. That was how football was. That's how it was. And it is what it is. I'm glad I played. Because you know what, Roland, it allowed me, even the little money I did make, it allowed me to do things for my mother that I was not going to be able to do. Because, we didn't have. My dad had passed away when I was in high school, and I started making money. I really made some real money at the Colts. That's not made real money. I played almost 5 years and made, the most money I made with the Rams was, I think, $450,000, and that was I played for them almost 5 years. And I played 11 years total. And
that's physically what you're giving up in those years. And again, you look at the average career, 3.5 years.
Yeah.
So you're running back, you're giving up. So I used to crack up laughing when people. I used to remember I remember all the comments, just reading it, and his toughness. He keeps running out of bounds. Look at all the pads he's wearing. He won't take the physical punishment. And I remember just as I remember watching it, going, well, why? That's smart. Why in the hell am I gonna take a hit unnecessarily?
You don't have to. I'm over here, John Roberts. We playing in St. Louis Cardinals, and I was trying to fight for extra yards, and right there by the sideline, and John Robinson, he said, "Hey, Eric, come out and go out of bounds." He said, "Fight another day." It's certain times when you try to, you
right.
have to go for it. And there's certain times you're like, "Hey, man, it's time."
Right.
I'm not taking them hits. That's how football was. It still is. And I say it again. My mother said this to me all the time as a young black kid, and I didn't get it till later. She said, "Eric, it's different for you. You black." And I'm like, "Mama," she said, "Eric," she said, "I'm telling you."
Oh yeah.
It's just different for me.
And see, for me, again, as a fan who's watching it, again, my whole deal is, well, wait a minute, hold up. So you want me to give all of this. You want me to sacrifice, and we do all this sort of stuff. But then if I hold out, then you mad.
Well, no,
when you hold out every day. You negotiate with the networks every day. You switching networks.
When
NFL went from CBS to Fox,
ABC, NBC,
when they were
Amazon.
like, all right, Amazon, and I'm like, and that's why I remember I called into a radio show, and I never listen to these shows. I don't know where in the hell I was. I'm listening to this show, and man, they going on and on and on about somebody holding out. And I called. I said, hold on, let me explain. I said, let me help y'all out. I said, when the Packers won the Super Bowl, Sterling Sharp at the top of his game.
Yep.
He holds out. And one of the reasons I ain't got no respect for Brett Favre, not the Mississippi stuff with the welfare money, but Brett Favre, who got his money, was like, no, Sterling needs to be in camp. No, damn that. He needed his money. What happened? Sterling held out, got his money, got injured that year, career's over.
Over, right.
If he doesn't hold out for the money, takes the deal. I remember there was another player. I think he had gone from Packers to the Broncos. I can't remember his name. Same thing. I tell people all the time, I got no problem when a guy holds out who says, I am at the peak. If I don't get paid now, I may never get paid. And the fans are sitting here, oh, they say, right, this costing us. I'm like, first of all, who's us? You don't own shit.
He says costing us. You're right about that, but man, I'm gonna tell you, you understand, Roland, man, them fans, they take it personal. I mean, they get personal with it, very personal.
Yeah, I don't.
I can tell you this, I can tell you how personal it gets when I was in Indianapolis. And this is one reason, look, I'll say this much, it's some good fans in Indianapolis, it really is. I mean, I'm not taking that away. I mean, there's some really good Colts fans. There were some good Colts fans when I was there. But that place really scarred me in a bad way, where I never go back there. I don't go back there unless I'm asked. I go back there to visit my in-laws because my wife's from Indianapolis, but I don't go back there. Matter of fact, they asked me to come back for something here in the last 2 years. I said, absolutely not. I told them they can take my name out of that ring around because I don't plan on going back there.
Wow.
Because I never forgot. It was my last year there. You know, you hang a banner over the rail. Hang a banner over the rail. Yeah. And you put we love the Colts. They hung a banner over the rail with a little black baby in an in-style position with me, 29, with a stack of watermelons, stack of money, eating fried chicken with big red lips. And they let it hang there for almost to half. I'll never forget the girl I was dating. We still best friends. I talked to her coming over here. Her name is Holly. And she was at the game. She said, Eric, she said, when I saw that, she said, I broke down and started crying. She said, I could not believe. She said, I didn't understand how you could even play with looking at that up there. I said, you know what? I said, being here, I said, I'll never forget that. I said something to the players, and some of the brothers thought it was funny. I said, motherfucker, that's you.
Right.
Just change the number.
Change the number.
Then all of a sudden, man, that's right. I'm like, don't you think that's funny? So for me, I've never, ever forgotten that. I will never forget that. And now I'm gonna say it again. See, they would say, oh, he angry. Am I angry about that? Yes, I'm angry. I did not like that. I still don't like it. I mean, I just think it's uncalled for, and I think it looked at the team, let it hang there. That's what it means. Would you have let that, if that was Peyton Manning, would you let him hang something with Peyton Manning up there like that? No, that would never happen.
They're getting snatched.
Oh, they're snatched in
the Klan was founded in Indiana.
Actually, Kentucky.
Same thing.
Because I said in there too. I said no, Kentucky.
Same thing.
Same thing.
But it is, and that's a piece, man, that the perspective that people don't understand when you talk about, and yeah, fans, they get so personal, they want to be all self-invested. But what has happened is, and this is you can call the brilliance of the NFL. The NFL is a religion.
Right.
It is, people will cut Sunday services short.
For church, to go to the game.
For football.
I know.
And so the NFL has replaced religion on Sundays. And the fervor of these folks and how rabid they get and how they act a fool and how they condemn players. And what they've done is, and this is because I've always been against publicly financed stadiums. They have actually convinced these fools to build billion-dollar palaces for billionaires, but let's cut the services for the poor.
Sure.
And complain about welfare, and I'm like, that damn stadium is the biggest example of welfare. And then the new stadium, what it does is, it increases the value of the team, and if they sell it, they get paid, not the fans, not the city. And people act as if, no, that's our team. No, it's not.
No, it's not. I mean, I got to give Stan Kroenke credit. He built that stadium. He put all the money up. I won't forget, I was talking to Kevin Demoff at one day, and he said that Stan was writing these checks for $200 million a month. $100 million a month. I'm like, what? He said, it's a bad month. I'm like, but
the people in St. Louis.
Yeah.
See?
Right.
See again.
Right.
And he was like, no, we bouncing. All the money they built the stadium, all that sort of stuff. And that's the piece. So that's why when I hear teams talk about loyalty, I'm like, nah.
No.
The only loyalty in the NFL is money.
Is that money?
And I'm like, players, that's why I ain't got no problem when the smart players know how to play the money game.
And they should. I mean, look, it's like when you hear a fan berating another player. Because that's funny. I sit there and listen to it. Yeah, he sucks. He's this and that. And I asked him this question. I said, let me ask you a question. I said, he's a bum. He said, yeah, he's not that. I said, how about if that's your son out there? That's your son, and you see the guy sitting next to you calling your son a bum. That's different. I said, oh, that's different now, ain't it? It's different, it's your son. He said, Eric, I never thought about it like that. I said, a lot of them, see, they don't think that, we human. We're not robots. Players are human. We have feelings. I mean, we get hurt by things too. Just like when you play a football game, that's the Super Bowl. Let's use the Super Bowl as the kid that they say, supposedly held the guy.
Right.
Man, that kid, trust me, that kid.
Or the Bengals guy who hit
Mahomes out of bounds?
Out of bounds.
Man, I thought that was a bullshit call, but that, I mean, man, let me tell you something. You take that with you. I can tell you right now, I can tell you the worst game I ever played in my NFL career. I still remember it. Think about it. Washington Redskins in Washington, playoffs. They beat, I think they beat us 17-9. I had 3 fumbles in that game. Man, I could not hold on to that ball. Man, it was killing me. I mean, do you think I'm trying to fumble the ball?
Right.
You think I'm gonna fumble this ball? Man, it was dry. We had 6 turnovers. We barely lost the game. But man, matter of fact, I won't forget, on the plane home, I was in agony. That night, couldn't sleep. So know this much here. I'll tell you, fans, know this. Players, we take that stuff personal. We take a lot of, not just what you say, but we take because the game it's not just a job, man. We love it. I mean, and you know why? We got other guys that's depending on us. Mm-hmm. I mean, just like you got these guys here that you depend on back here behind to do the cameras. I mean, they depend on me. They depend, and I'll let them down. And I've never forgotten, as I say, still to this day, it bothers me.
We wish to plead our own cause. Too long have others spoken for us. This is an opportunity for us to be able to speak to our issues. Y'all better understand something real quick. We ain't going nowhere. It is a continual battle that we see all across this country. Revolution will not be televised. The revolution will be streamed.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
He makes sure that our stories are told.
Roland Martin's doing this every day.
You can't be black-owned media and be scared. When Jackson State lost North Carolina Central in the Celebration Bowl, teams they were just distraught. And so Robert Brazile, I was following Dion and he hugged Dion. They shared some words, and I interviewed Robert Brazile, and he was talking about. He said, "Look," he said, "it's supposed to hurt." He said, "Because you want it." And I told him, I said, hell, I'm still hurting when y'all lost to the Steelers in 79, back-to-back in 78 and 79. And Brazile said, he said, me too. He said, I was in the game. I saw, at the All-Star game, Thurl Bailey was there. Every time I see Thurl Bailey, I give him a side eye. And he see me, and I tell him, I'm like, goddamn 1983 NCAA championship, NC State and University of Houston.
Oh,
dude! If that play came on that TV, I'd turn the channel.
You don't forget it. I said.
So and again, Elijah Wan comes baseline. Elijah Wan under the basket. Lorenzo Charles comes baseline, and he's blocked up by 2 people, and air ball. Homer catches it, dunks. I can only imagine Elijah Wan having a relive. He's standing right there. Hell, I'm watching at the crib in Houston.
Like I say, man, them plays, you relive them plays over and over. That's what I say. So for fans, as y'all think that we don't care, Guys, we care, man. Well, like I said, now think about that. You said Robert Brazile, that was 19, what,
That was 78, 79.
I remember the one year when I think it was a receiver, Renfro, he was in.
Yes.
He was. They
Steve
didn't have his
Renfro.
He was in. They called him out.
I remember.
Yeah.
Left corner of the end zone.
Left corner of the end zone.
Come out, foot comes down.
He was in. They called him out. That Houston would have been the Super Bowl.
When I saw NFC Championship game, it was the Carolina Panthers. So my frat Lamell McMoore is firm represented Cam Newton. So he said, hey, I was giving a speech in Florida. He's like, yo, you want to fly on the plane with me to the game? And it was a storm on the East Coast. I was like, well, hell yeah. And that's the only time. See, here we got an attitude over there because I only rep Houston teams.
I know you all thought.
I only rep Houston teams. But this was the Astros' old colors, and they were this crimson. Everybody thought I was a Cardinals fan. And so Lamell was like, "Say, dog, you can't wear that shit to the game because Cam see you in them colors. He gonna think you're a Cardinals fan on the sideline with me." So he sent his driver, and he went and bought a Carolina Panthers jacket, scarf, hat, gloves. And I took a picture. He was like, "What the hell you wearing, Cam?" I said, "Hey, I flew on the plane with Fred." I said, "He represented the agent. I'm with him. I had to put it on." Now, he was a Cowboys fan. That wasn't going to happen. I hate the Cowboys.
Oh, I hate the Cowboys.
You hate them?
I hate the Cowboys.
Oh, Cowboys fan. I want them in agony.
Why and how?
I want them in agony all day. And his ass from Chicago, and he a Cowboys fan.
What the hell?
For the Bulls, White Sox, Blackhawks, he a Cowboys fan.
Only team I hate worse than the Cowboys is the 49ers, so.
No, it ain't nobody.
Brother, that's
I hate the Cowboys more than I hate the Klan.
I had to go to the Klan on that, Bob.
No, I hate him that much. So when I saw Terry Bradshaw, I was like, yeah, we would have beat. He's like, oh hell no, we would have still won. I was like, Terry.
Me and Joe said the same thing. He said the same thing.
He was like, nah, bro, forget that. I was like, Terry.
He said the
that touchdown.
I said that was a touchdown. He said
momentum change.
He said we won the game. I said, but that was a touchdown.
Touchdown.
That was and that was at the end of the game. It wasn't the game. That was the end. That was like
he
the
tried
last
to claim
drive.
it was third quarter. We would have still won.
No, that was at the end of the game.
I said,
Terry.
I said, and that play actually is really one of the plays led to it's the replay.
Really?
People always remember because I know it's seared in my brain.
Let me ask you, what do you think of? Do you like instant replay?
I do. The reason I like instant replay is because we're human. And if I'm a player, I play baseball, but if I'm a player and I'm playing and that owner makes an egregious mistake, and if it's clear, it should get overturned.
I agree with you. I also think that they should have instant replay on certain, like holding calls, certain ones.
I agree.
That can be the outcome of a football game.
Oh, pass interference too.
Yeah, seriously, like you talk about the one when the Rams played the game in New Orleans. If they said it was a pass interference. Hey, we got away with it.
Right.
But yeah, I really believe they should look at pass interference.
Because again, if it completely alters
the game,
especially if you're in fourth quarter.
Right.
That's why I love the NBA when it's in the last few minutes. If it's one of those plays,
they'll go back and
look at it.
Instant replay.
And look, now with technology, it's so many cameras now.
Ooh.
Hell, you got a pylon camera.
Oh.
You got a sideline camera. You
underneath the pile. You got to see. I'm like, oh, you can see under the piles.
So you got cameras in the base on baseball. See that? Yeah. To me, technology allows you to do that. People are like, oh, it slows the game down. Yeah, but man, listen. If that's the difference between winning a Super Bowl and losing one.
If it's your team, you want the call.
And it ain't no guarantee. Look, Dan Marino made one Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And they lost. Never got back there. I can imagine getting to that big game and you lose it over a ref's call.
Ref's call.
And it was blatant. And you like, I never get back again? No, you want it right. So that's how I look at that.
I'm with you. I agree with that 100%.
Hatred on the streets, a horrific scene, a white nationalist rally that descended into deadly violence.
White people are losing their damn minds.
As an angry pro-Trump mob storms the U.S. Capitol, we've seen
We're about to see the rise of what I call white minority resistance. We have seen white folks in this country who simply cannot tolerate black folks voting.
I think what we're seeing is the inevitable result of violent denial.
This is part of American history. Every time that people of color have made progress, whether real or symbolic, there has been what Carol Anderson at Emory University calls white rage as a backlash.
This is the rise of the Proud Boys and the Boogaloo Boys. America, there's going to be more of this.
Here's all the Proud Boys, guys.
This country is getting increasingly racist in its behaviors and its attitudes because of the fear of white people.
The fear that they're taking our jobs, they're taking our resources, they're taking our women. This is white fear. When you talk about being, having conversations, when you're talking to younger players, and trust me, it happens in music and all other fields, cats like, nah, we good. Do they listen? Do they listen? Do they listen when you're talking about how to take care of your body? Spud Webb told me this. He gets to the Hawks, and Moses Malone said, meet me at breakfast tomorrow. So Spud said he goes to breakfast. So he walk in, and Spud trying to sit here and he wanted to order him some pancakes, some eggs. He said he walk in, Mo had this huge plate of fruit. And he said, young fella, sit down. And he said he taught him how to eat. And Spud said he never forgot that. He said, if you want to last in this league, you got to know how to eat.
I'll say this much here. I never had a great diet, still don't. Thank God I'm just genetics. I still work out. I think for some football games, I wouldn't eat anything. I'd have a candy bar, before the game.
Wow.
Sometimes I eat after the game. Most times I eat after the game. But you know what some young kids do listen to? They will listen to when you try to tell them about life after football and about playing football when they're in the game. I've had guys ask me, man, tell me, what does it take to be a good pro? And I said, well, one thing is, you got to love your profession and you got to respect your profession. You don't want to hurt your team and hurt yourself. I always say, my mother said, son, when I came to California, she said, don't go out there and embarrass your dad's name. And that was big for me. And that's being a professional. Because one thing is that, you're not going to, I tell these young kids, you're not going to be number 22, number 29, number 19 or whatever. You're not going to be that guy always. You got to come back and be Edward Jones, Eric Dickerson, Roland Martin. You got to come back and be that guy, and you're going to be that guy a lot longer than you're going to be that number. And a lot of guys, a lot of players get it. They do. And some don't. Because I look at some players and I'm like, man, when you get older, you're going to look back and think, why the hell did I do that? I had a conversation this was funny. It was the kid that plays for the Bengals. And I know his agent. And he said, he bought a grill. And he said, man, I bought a grill. The grill was $20,000. I'm like,
a grill?
I'm like, a barbecue grill? So they just started laughing. I'm like, what kind of grill cost 20 grand? Talking about a grill to go in your mouth. I said, wait a minute, man. I'm like, holy man.
You thought it was a barbecue grill.
I'm thinking a barbecue grill. They laughing. I'm like, in your mouth? I said, dog. I said, let me tell you something. I said, you young now. I said, when your ass is older, you're going to think, what the hell did I spend $20,000 to put this grill, these fake teeth in my mouth? I said, remember I told you that. Roland, some guys listen, some guys don't. Some guys think they got it figured out. You got to think like this here. Think when you were 20 years old. You got to go back, because I won't forget my buddy say, man, these guys, they go out, they wreck their cars, they have a Ferrari, and they driving drunk and all that. I say, boom. I say, see, you're thinking like a 60-year-old, because the guy was talking about 60. I said, think like a 22-year-old. You just bought a brand new Ferrari. You don't want no limo. I want to drive my Ferrari. I want the girls to see me in my Ferrari. I said, that's the difference. I said, well, see, you thinking like an old man, but young guys, they want to do all that.
I was thinking like an old man at 20.
Man, you wasn't. Trust me. If you think about it now, you got to think.
No.
You might have, but if you young and you go into a club, you know all the honeys there.
Right.
You just got you a brand new Ferrari, Porsche, whatever.
I got you.
You going out the limo, or I want to drive my new Ferrari, my Porsche.
So for me, the thinking was, what I'm not about to mess up.
You say that now.
No. I'm talking about no. When I was 20, I remember we were somewhere, and it's time to bounce. No, dog, I ain't riding with you. Your ass drunk.
Now, I'm with that.
No, I was like,
I was always like that.
No, hell no.
I didn't drive.
No, hell no, that ain't happening. Or it was certain cats. All right, man, we have to do this here. Nah, I ain't rolling with you. We ain't. It was because here's the deal. I was more scared of getting my ass whooped by my daddy.
There you go.
Than any police officer. It was like, nah, we ain't gonna act a fool with that. And so I can think back to decisions that there were certain things, maybe let's take a road trip, or you somewhere and cats who act a fool, who are hot-headed. Because I ain't about to lose my shit because of you. Because you get into a fight, we get into. See, I've always been. I remember I was dating somebody who decided to have some hot checks. So straight up, and cops show up at my dorm, and I'm sitting here. Cops show up, and she had come by, and we had broken up. Come by, and they come. I got to think real quick. You're not gonna do it. We're looking for so-and-so. Calm as hell. I haven't seen him. Have you talked to him? I haven't talked to him. And the fact they showed up at my door mean they were tracking. I'm calm. Now I know the law. The dorm is your domicile. They need a warrant to step. They said, can we step into the dorm room? No, you can't. But why not? Because I got somebody else in here and y'all are interrupted. Dude, Eric, I'm calm as hell. Eric, I am calm as hell. I got somebody in here, so y'all are interrupting what I was about to get into. So no, you can't step in. But if I hear, then give me the car or whatever, I was like, gotcha. Man, I closed the door. I was like, you're gonna wait 10 minutes, get the hell out my dorm. You ain't fucking up my future over your bullshit. Straight up. Waited 10 minutes. I was like, you need to get the hell out of my dorm. My whole deal, I knew where I was going. I wasn't letting no woman, no dude, no frat brother, nobody mess up where I was going. Bro, I was hardcore. I knew. I was like, nah, you ain't messing my shit up.
But that's rare. I mean, that's a rarity. I mean,
right.
all of us have made bad decisions.
Absolutely.
Bad decisions. I mean, all of us have. I mean, and you said one thing that's true, is that my daddy or my mama. See, it was my mom. I mean, my dad had passed away when I was 17. That was the best man I ever knew. Was my father. Yeah. I mean, I wish I could be more like him. That upbringing. Because, matter of fact, this was a couple of years ago. This was when Adrian Peterson had his issue with his son.
Yep, his son.
And so I was on a radio show, and the guy asked me about it, about disciplining kids. I said, well, I'm gonna say this to you. I said, I believe in discipline. I said, I spank my kids. I don't beat my kids, but I spank my kids. I spank my kids. I do. And I spanked my kids before. I said, I'll say this much. I said, think about it like this. My son, let's say my son is he's little now. I said, but one day when he gets, say, 14 or 15 years old, I say he shows up at your house and he sticks a gun in your mouth, and the first thing he'll say, where's the daddy and the mom? Where's the daddy at? I say, oh no, this is the kid you say don't discipline. I said, no, that's him. Boom. Probably about 2 weeks later, I get a letter in the mail. My wife called me. She said, Eric, I want to tell you something. She said, you did the radio interview about disciplining the kids? I said, yeah. Some guy wrote you a letter and said that he's going to report you to the Calabasas Police Department because you say you spank your kids, that you beat your kids. I said, did you put a number on there? She said, I said, give me that motherfucker's number. She said, no, I said, give me his fucking number. She wouldn't give me the number. I said, I'm gonna call this motherfucker.
Right.
I said, first of all, I was so pissed. And I'm like, how are you gonna tell me how to raise my kids? I know one thing. No parent is the greatest parent of all.
Right.
Nobody is. But everybody has their own ways of raising their kids. I don't beat my kids. If I spank my kids, I explain to them why I did it.
Right.
I don't want to just be whooping them for the hell of it.
So we got the ass whoop. I'm whooping your ass cause you lied.
Right. You know, and that's it. I mean, I just believe I think in today's age, man, kids. I told my kids this when they were young. I don't forget. I told my daughter when she was probably 10. She's probably 10 or 11. I said, let me tell you something, because my wife, she's mixed, she's white. I said, let me tell you something. You ain't like these white kids. I say, if you ever call the police on me, I said, I'll be whooping your ass. I said, know this, you ain't coming back here. You going to stay somewhere else. I said, if I didn't down with your grandmother, you ain't coming back here. I said, you get that? I understand. I said, I'm just letting you know right now.
Thea Vidal, a comedian, had a joke. She said, kid said, Mommy, are you aware that if you hit us, we can call a cop? She said, bitch, you gotta get to the phone. She said, you gotta get to the phone.
That's true. There you go. But yeah, I mean, you know, and it's how you raise your children. I mean, you know, black parents are different from white parents. I mean, they are. I mean, like little Joey. Don't do that, little Joey. My mom be like, you bring your black ass here. I mean, I won't forget, you probably did it too. Sitting in church, I'm sitting in church, got Enrique Cloud. We back there laughing and cutting up. My mom was in the choir. He said, look at your mama. Look at your mama.
Better freak.
I'm laughing, and the next thing I know, they go to put the money on it, she coming toward me. And I said, here come your mama. Took me out, she took whooped my ass outside, made me sit in the choir with her. So, I mean, I'm fair to say, I'm glad that my mom did me like that. I'm serious. I mean, I know that she loved me.
Right.
And I don't feel like I was abused, none of that kind of stuff. My mother was strict, but I believe in discipline. I don't believe in beating your kids, but I believe in discipline.
Right, absolutely.
Folks, Black Star Network is here.
I'm real revolutionary right now.
Support this man, Black Media. He makes sure that our stories are told.
Thank you for being the voice of Black America, Roland.
Stay black. I love y'all.
All momentum we have now, we have to keep this going.
The video looks phenomenal.
See, there's a difference between Black Star Network and black-owned media and something like CNN.
You can't be black-owned media and be scared.
It's time to be smart.
Bring your eyeballs home.
You dig?
Who is right now, who is your favorite running back to watch?
Man, you know what? I don't watch a lot of football, to be honest with you. I only watch when I have to. But I would have to say probably Derrick Henry is because he doesn't run like me, he's big.
Right.
I like big backs.
Right.
And I'm 6'3", I was 225. I like the big backs. I like the guy in Indianapolis. What's his name? It's not Jacob. Jacob's in Oakland. God, I can't think of his name. Whatever. The kid in Indy. Mm-hmm. I like him too. I like the kid in at the Raiders, Jacobs. It's not a lot of backs. It's just not. I like Saquon Barkley.
Well, the game has also changed because they've now devalued the running back position. And really, if you're a great player, you should go play cornerback or wide receiver to get paid.
And get paid. You're right. A quarterback.
Right. I mean, obviously, quarterback is always number one.
But you still got to have running back. I mean,
you got to run.
It kills me when they
First of all, if the Chiefs didn't have a running game, They don't win the Super Bowl. That's what put the position in the second half.
That's what saved the game. I mean, when I think of running back, I think of the white kid up in San Francisco.
Oh yeah, McCaffrey.
McCaffrey. Now let me tell you something.
He totally altered the 49ers offense.
That white boy can run. I call him white chocolate. The white boy can run the rock.
Oh, he can hoop. He can play.
And to me, he doesn't get the credit. You know why? Because he's white. He plays the black position. To be honest with you, but he can play the position. But most definitely, if you want to make some money, cornerback, wide-eyed, quarterback, or you want to be an offensive tackle.
Folks always talk about, this will be the last question. Folks always talk about greats. I always love the debate. Is it Jordan? Is it Bill Russell? Is it LeBron? I love how they keep Kareem out. So let's just say, we'll remove you from it. Who do you see as the greatest NFL running back?
There's no such person as the greatest. No such person. It's who you like, who you saw play. That's what it comes down to.
But let's say you didn't see Jim Brown play.
I didn't see Jim Brown play. But do I think Jim is one of the greatest? Most definitely. There's no doubt. I mean, because the era he played in, and Jim's a friend of mine. I mean, I just went to see Jim last week. The era he played in, the things he did back then, and the amount of time he did, I mean, no one has ever done that.
Yep.
To me, I mean, the guy I grew up watching, the guy that made me want to play running back was OJ. I mean, that's the guy that I watched play.
And so for me watching Earl Campbell.
See, and I said, say people forget about Earl Campbell.
Absolutely.
I was going to come in.
Jim Brown actually said, number one person right behind him, he said Earl Campbell.
People forget about how great Earl was. I mean, man, you remember the hit that him and Isaiah?
Oh, yes. Wow. Put that chest in his head and blew that boy backwards.
Man, yeah, I mean, it's so many great backs that I just got to say, it's who you like, who you saw play. That's it.
I got you.
Yep. And you're right. I always keep myself out. I'll never put myself in that. I mean, I don't do that.
All right, Doc.
All right, brother.
Enjoyed it.
Good talking to you, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Okay, brother.